Hello and welcome to our 5th episode of Hungry Talks. I'm your host, Bella.
And I'm also your host, Alana.
And tonight we're taking a different route to the traditional agency path. That's right, we're changing things up as Hungry Talks goes brandside. We'll take a deep dive into the transition from agency to brandside, decide what's hot or not in branding, and get to know our incredibly inspiring guests. As always, keep your questions coming through the chat so that throughout the episode we can answer them in the end. Now, without further ado, it's a pleasure to introduce Bondi Sands Creative Manager, Olivia Gatt.
Hey, Olivia.
Thank you so much for having me. Hi.
Thank you for coming. Thanks so much for being here tonight.
It's great. I'm so excited to be here. This is awesome.
Yeah, well, we can't wait to get into your story, Olivia. We rarely get to look at and explore the path of going brandside. But first, we'd like to know, what was your journey into advertising like?
Well, it kind of was a little bit untraditional. I started my sort of career journey wanting to be a I wanted to do like traditional graphic design. I did a visual communications degree. My heart and soul was in very like analog type of work. Like I really wanted to do like print design and letterpress printing and all that kind of stuff. And that sort of led me down that route. But I ended up getting one of my very first jobs at a sort of bespoke, boutique-y creative agency in Collingwood. And I got really into the analog stuff there, but I also had a great opportunity to get involved with a lot of the digital outputs that they were doing at the time. And yeah, then I was like, just did a bit of a 360 and fell really in love with digital design, which was great because I could learn the real like tactical part of the job and then also the more digital innovative side of it as well. And from that, I got a opportunity to interview for a position at Clemenger BBDO Melbourne. And that was a bit of a weird one for me because I thought like, why would I want to go into advertising? Like, you know, I'm a traditional designer, like this is where my heart and soul is. But I thought I couldn't turn down the opportunity. And I ended up getting the job and I fell even more in love with it, which I'm so grateful that every step along my career, I've gone, this is what I'm going to do. And then I find something new. I'm like, no, this is what I'm going to do. And I find something new. But yeah, then I started working for Clemenger and I was there for 4.5 years or something ridiculous like that. And yeah, within Clemenger, I had like quite a few different positions there, all creative, but they started off extremely on the tools, digital designer, UX, UI world. And then throughout my 4.5 years there, that job transitioned into conceptual art director, campaign thinking kind of stuff. But yeah, and then I went brandside. So I've done a bit of everything now, but it's great and I love it all. So I've obviously chosen the right industry, even though if it's agency or brand or conceptual or on the tools design, it's all great. I love it all. But yeah, it's been a big one.
That's fantastic. What a great agency to get some experience at. And I'd love to know what inspired you to then move brandside.
So while at Clemenger, I got an opportunity to work with lots of the different clients that they have there, NAB and Mercedes years ago, and Maya. And I stayed on Maya the longest, and I really loved being emotionally connected to one brand, like rocking up to work that day and knowing what I was going to do, knowing the audience, knowing the style guide backwards, understanding that brand inside out. And that's why I kind of stuck on Maya for a while. I didn't feel like I was getting, you know, I didn't feel like I wanted to move on. I was like, no, I'm really actually happy being super confident and loving and knowing one brand well. And I wasn't actually planning on moving, but this opportunity did pop up in my LinkedIn about 5 months ago. And I just thought, you know what, like, I don't think I necessarily want to go brand side, but what I fell in love with is the company I got given the opportunity for. So I knew I'd be okay working with one like just going for one brand, because I already kind of did that at Clems. Like, I made a very solid effort to be the Maya expert, like have that expertise on the Maya brand. So I wasn't too nervous about that. But yeah, I don't think I necessarily walked into it going, I want to go brand side. I think I just walked into it going, I want to work for Bondi Sands. So that was really the shift for me.
Amazing. Wow. And so, yeah, at your current role, we mentioned before, you're the creative manager at Bondi Sands. Can you tell us a little bit more about what this role involves and kind of how it differs a little bit from your previous roles?
Yeah, so it's actually really, really different, but in a good way. Um, it's managing the creative team pretty much. So I have some really wonderful creative people in my team that report into me, and what we do as a team is create everything for the brand, and that's for all the global assets as well. So we have customers in the States, in Europe, and coming into Asia as well. So our creative team in Melbourne is where everything's coming out of. So that's a lot of work. And they needed someone like me to be represent the department, help the team grow, and yes, streamline the creative. So bring in some nitty gritty stuff like ways of handling the work, like timelines and job numbers and all that boring stuff. But that's good stuff. It helps us grow and become more equipped to stretch and become a bigger company and have a bigger team. But then also just being the cheerleader for the creatives. So being able to stand up for the idea and making sure that that the concepts that my team put forward are well received, and representing what the executive team is kind of thinking as well. So really just being that in-between person of the true designers and then also the business need as well. So yeah, really sort of tying those two groups of people together. But yeah, it's very, very different to what I was doing at Clemenger, but in a good way. I really, really do love it. I'm barely on the tools these days, though, which is sad, but it's nice to work with designers who, want my opinion or would love my 2 cents on something, and I can, I'm coming from a place where I actually know what they're doing in the programs because of my graphic design background. So I'm not coming in saying, push that pixel there or do that there. I actually I can talk the talk or use the same language that they use as well, which is really helpful for communication within the team. But yeah, it's a bit of a different role, but I really, really do love it.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun, and it seems like a really natural progression from your last role to the role that you're in now. I'd love to know, do you get agencies pitching ideas to you?
Oh my gosh, that has just actually happened. And it
Oh,
is
wow.
so funny to be on the
What's that
other side.
like?
It's so funny to be on the other side of that process.
Yeah.
And like rocking up to that meeting and like, I'm gonna have work pitched to me was so nice. I was like, wow, this is such a relaxing moment, even though I know the other people on the other side of the call probably haven't had the most relaxing, time on this. But yeah, it was really interesting having, like, being sold an idea too. And because I've been on the other end of that many, many times, I was like, cool, I can see how they're trying to, sell the story and make it feel like, oh, we're going on a journey together. And like, I know the spiel, I know the lingo, but I respect it because everyone has to do it. But yeah, that was really, really funny just to be on that other side of the phone call, but in an enjoyable way. But it made me miss it actually. I was like, oh, I miss the adrenaline of a pitch. But I'm sure Bondi will have to do that with, we sell into like a chemist warehouse or a Boots overseas. So I haven't been involved in those processes yet since working at Bondi Sands, but I know that they have done those big pitches into the chemists and the warehouses and the big department stores before. So yeah, when that comes around, I'll know what to do. I'll be like, cool, I've been here before.
That is so cool. And so for 3 years, you were the chair of Youngbloods. For those of you at home who aren't sure what that is, Youngbloods is a group of emerging professionals across Australia putting on networking events and empowering young people to kill it in the ad world. Olivia, what inspired you to get involved in Youngbloods?
Well, so Youngbloods in Victoria was actually pretty dead for a while. It kind of went off I think it just faded away in Victoria. It was thriving in other states. And it was my first year at Clems, and a guy that I was working with, he wanted to get it up and going again in Victoria, breathe new life into it, bring it up to speed with what the other states were doing with Youngbloods in this day and age. I think like a little while ago, Youngbloods was definitely like they just like throwing parties pretty much. And what does a young person advertising want out of Youngbloods now? We probably want those parties still, but it can be a more educational, a more a space where we can be networking more and things like that. And that's the model that the other states were doing at the time. So I got on board with the rebirth of Bondi, Youngbloods, Vic, 20 must have been 2019 or something. And it all started from there. And I got really heavily involved. I fell in love with it. I actually learned so much about the advertising industry from being involved in Youngbloods. Coming from that sort of bespoke, boutique-y studio, and then moving straight into a giant advertising agency from that, I kind of had lost or hadn't really picked up a lot of the ins and outs of the industry yet. Like, who were the big companies? What were the cool clients to have? Like, who's who? Like, whose name is that? I should probably know that name of that person. And Youngbloods actually helped me kind of pick up all those ins and outs, which was really good. But yeah, and then I just got really involved, really loved it. Met some awesome people and got to do some great projects with them, including the rebrand, which came with the repositioning of Youngbloods Victoria, which was awesome to be involved in. But yeah, it was great. And then it was time to pass the baton on, which ended up aligning really well with me actually leaving, the advertising industry, not part of one of the big agencies, but ended up working really well because my co-chair became the head of national head of Youngbloods, which was perfect timing. And now it's in great hands, and Victoria are doing some awesome stuff. They're doing a really, really great job.
Wow, amazing. Yeah, such an incredible opportunity. And it's a really good way to kind of, meet new people and all that stuff. And speaking of, many students often question how they should go about getting their foot in the door. What do you think are the best places or even people to kind of turn to when looking for employment opportunities?
This is really hard and it's so different for everybody. Something like Youngbloods is actually a really great way to meet people in the industry and meet other peers that are similar to like-minded people as well. So honestly, like, a Youngbloods event is amazing. That is such a great opportunity. When they come up, when the world opens back up, definitely I recommend rocking up to those events. I had an internship, and that actually got me my first job at that studio, and that was a really awesome opportunity to actually learn like how to operate in an office and what that culture is like, and actually what I want to get out of that 9 to 5 kind of experience, and meeting who was going to be my boss for nearly 3 years. The only thing I'd say about internships is make sure you know your worth, because going into an internship, you just don't want to be taken advantage of. So they need you as much as you need them. And that would just be my one piece of advice for internships, is understand that you're a vital person of that team as well, and that this could possibly be a career move for you. They could want to hire you. So go in there thinking, they're lucky to have me, I'm lucky to have them, and this could be a permanent position in the near future. So that's just a mindset that I would say go into with an internship. But yeah, networking events like Youngbloods, and I think internships are really awesome places to start.
Yeah, that's great. And yeah, that's the hard thing about internships. It's a bit of a power imbalance. You feel like you really need to prove yourself, and yeah, feel like that you kind of want to get something out of it. And so, sorry, what I would like to talk about now is what is one of the most common challenges you faced as a young woman in the ad industry, and how do you recommend tackling this?
It actually is kind of hard. And I think for me personally, one of the things that I've really struggled with, and I will continue to struggle with, is having people that I look up to, that next tier above me in the org chart, the people that you report to be women that I want to be when I grow up. They're so few and far between. I've definitely worked with some amazing women, and they are the ones that I'm like, how do I be like you? But they're the exception. There's just so little people that I feel in my life I've been able to go, I want to be like that woman. I want to work to get her job, but I want to work to have her attitude, have her demeanor, have her work ethic. I think in my experience, when I've seen women in leadership roles, first of all, there's not that many, which is super sad, but I feel like their technique of being, in the executive team, or, them being, a leader, it's very masculine. And I'm like, that's because I feel like they've been mimicking men as well throughout their career. Look, I don't want to get too political about it, but I think there is this there's this mimicking of who do I know who's been my boss? In the past, it's mainly been a white man. So I'm going to act like them so I get in their position. So it's really up to us, the new young women of the marketing, advertising, design world, to pave the way so that you don't need to act like a man to be like a boss. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's challenging, and you really got to find the right people that you want to emulate. And when you do, hold on to them. You are when you find that special woman that you're like, oh my God, how do I embody what, and how have you got here? Ask her that question. They're the special ones. But yeah, it's so complicated, and it's so political. Yeah,
it's hard because
it's challenging.
Yeah, it's like in our ad course, I'd say we're majority girls, and then you hear that once you get into the ad industry, the leadership positions are mostly held by men. So it's hard to find female mentors that are in leadership positions and whatnot.
Yes,
which kind of leads into Bella's next question.
Going off that, I think actually many of our students here tonight are kind of looking at you in awe and are really inspired by our accomplishments in the industry.
It's true.
Is there a particular role model or mentor that really made a difference in your career?
So I've actually, how I was saying before about finding these women and holding, oh my gosh, holding on to them. I have come across two really wonderful women in my time at Clemenger, and I was very lucky enough to work closely with them. So one was Sabrina Rydell, and she now works for Amazon in Sydney, and she is so smart. She is so smart. And she gave me some wonderful opportunities we went to the States together to present an Amazon like Alexa thing she invited me and a couple other people to be part of this team. And she gave me this opportunity, which was incredible. But yes, such an incredibly smart person. And then Carmela Suarez, who is now working for Facebook. I got to report to her for a very short time at Clems, but she's one of those people where I think I've said to her, how many times have I said to her, I want to be you. How do I be like you? She's so calm. She's so collected. She's so creative. She knows the answer to everything. I'm like, what have you done to be the way you are? Because I want to copy the exact same path as you. But yeah, so those two women, I am just, yeah, they're on my CV, and they're like, I could give them a call, and I feel like I could give them a call and ask them a question, and they'd know the answer, which is great. So yeah, I stalk them on LinkedIn. They're wonderful women to look up to, and they do stuff like interviews, and they're involved in their own things as well. So yeah, follow their careers. They're already big, but they're just gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, Carmela is fabulous. Some of us have had the opportunity to work with her, I think last year on a Facebook brief. So thank you for your answers. They've been incredibly inspiring. Let's finish this segment on a fun one now. What's your favorite Bondi Sands product?
Oh, okay. So, and I'm learning all about them. So I'm learning all the ins and outs, and I'm trialing them, which is great. But for me, my current favorite is the liquid gold foam. So Aero Liquid Gold.
Yeah.
If you've got a similar coloring to me, it's my fave. It's so good. It looks like I've just gotten off the beach. I'm like, oh, this is such a nice bronzy glow. But yeah, that would be my definite favorite for now.
I'll have to give it a go.
Yeah.
And with that,
next time I see you, I'll give you some. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Get you some
get you a goodie bag or two.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. Thank you. So thanks so much for your answers. I'm sure you've helped a lot of students here tonight feel a lot more confident about their futures. And
now up next, Olivia, we will be the judge of what's hot or not in branding in a segment that's totally not a ripoff from Top Gear. This is the Hot Wall. All right, well, let's dive into branding. This segment is going to look at tone of voice, logos, brand mission, and so on. We're going to get Olivia to dissect each bit of branding and rank it on our high-tech hot wall from not hot, warm, hot, and then scorching, depending on how well they work to appeal to audiences. Let's jump right into it. Olivia, hope you're ready. First up, let's take a look.
Oh my gosh.
Gatt. Okay, so in case you forgot or blinked and missed it, Gatt Clothing Company ditched this new logo 1 week after due to massive backlash from consumers. Looking at the rejected logo compared to the new logo, how would you rate it? Should they have kept
just
it?
Want to double check that we're double checking we're ranking the one that was there for a hot minute, right? Yeah. Look, it's absolutely not hot. It's such a shame. Why mess with such an iconic brand? And also it's not even that dated. What a waste of money. So that is very, very cold, not hot.
Yeah. All right, let's put it in not
Fair
hot.
enough.
And that's our decision.
It looks like a computer company. I don't know how to describe it.
It looks techie, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, totally not hot. Okay, let's take a look now at Aldi.
So Aldi have a really specific tone of voice, witty, and embodies their brand platform of the good different. But is it a little too left field for a supermarket? What do you think?
I love it. And like it's European and they're like they have so much more creative flair for their supermarkets over there. I think it's pretty I love good different. I think it's pretty good. I wouldn't put it at scorching, but I definitely would make it maybe on the line in between maybe hot. Let's give it hot. I think it's
All right,
fun.
let's give it hot. There it is.
I'm worried I'm being controversial.
I can't wait to get
I
to
love
some of the
them.
other ones. I know. Yeah. No, I totally agree.
I love
too dark. I'm too short.
Too thick.
You need to be thin.
I will not
So this is
be a
Dove.
good fit.
You're not what we like.
Welcome. Nice to meet you, I'm Bonnie.
Bien, casting de Belén, toma uno.
They've been doing this type of content for
I
so
am going to be on
long.
a casting tape.
I'm quite enthusiastic about this. I've seen some phenomenal women.
Thanks for coming in today.
¿Puedes ver directamente a la cámara, por favor?
Be yourself. And action.
Hi, my name is
Mi
Ketegile.
nombre es Ana Belén Hernández Cayetano.
I'm Alworth.
My name is Mpo and I am 21 years
My
old.
name is Bitumelo Chweni and I'm 29 years old.
Do you think you're bold enough to put me in your ad?
Choose me to star in your ad.
Elíjanme
If
para...
you choose me,
And show me as I really am?
Dove will cover the cost of my appearance fee.
It's a free cost, but it's using them as they are. And I think that's the most important thing.
We chose Boitumelo for this execution. She just suited the role so well.
It is very overwhelming. Ke motle.
So like you said, Dove, they've kind of been doing the same thing. They're pretty consistent with their empowering messages of beauty for women and girls, throughout the years. Do you think this still works, or is it a little bit, it's time to move on?
Yeah, Dove have kind of done this type of storytelling for a very, very long time. Like early days, it was like the lineup of all women of different shapes and sizes, different colors, like different beauty standards, different haircuts, and they like all lined up and they'd have the same underwear on and Dove for everybody. And at the time, I think that was like pretty good. Do you know what? This actually kind of makes me sad that ads like this need to be made. Look, I don't know. It's sometimes with this one, not so much. This is interesting because I think like sometimes with Dove, a lot of them just feel like it's just like faux feminism.
Yeah.
This one kind of actually has an interesting purpose, though. It's not just like selling like, hey, look, we're just showing lots of different women in this ad. Look how cool we are. So I'm going to give them some brownie points for actually having an idea, because sometimes with their other stuff, it's just like, hey, look how inclusive we're being. And then it's not inclusive if you're shouting it out. Yeah, because this is actually a campaign idea that seems to have some thought behind it. I'm going to put it around LD. I'm not 100% sold on that hashtag either. I don't know. I feel like I'm being critical, but you have to get this stuff right. Otherwise it's so wrong. And I think it's a little bit gray for me. But yeah, I'm going to put it like around maybe just behind LD.
Okay. Yep. We're putting it in hot.
No, I fully respect
just behind.
Oh my God. Is that, no, all right. That is such a tricky one. I think as I said, you have to get it right. You have to get it 100% right. Otherwise it's just slightly not, look, I don't know. We'll leave it there for now. I'll have to think about that one.
Yeah. We'll circle back to it.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at Chemist Warehouse now. Now, it's well known for its cheap look and overwhelmingly busy aesthetic. On the surface, it definitely doesn't seem cool, but does it work?
it 100% works. This is so tried and tested. They haven't changed it, and there's no reason to change it. It's like JB Hi-Fi. Like, you walk in and it's like, oh, there's always a sale on. My cousin used to work for JB, and they get taught with the thick pen how to do the font, the handwritten font.
Yeah, I've heard
that's
that.
just part of your induction. You learn the products, you learn how to use the till, and you learn and then you learn how to do the JB Hi-Fi like signboard writing. This is a similar idea. It's so busy. There's so much going on. There's so many brands talking at once. But the yellow, the pink ticket, the hanging signs, you know that you're in Chemist Warehouse. I really like this. Can we move Dove back and put this here?
Okay, yeah. So we'll put Dove on the verge of
on the
warm
line,
and hot.
yeah.
And we'll pop Chemist Warehouse. Is it behind Aldi?
Yeah. I still think Aldi's better, but ugly ads. I personally hate the look of them. I love the psychology behind them. They work.
It's so true. It's like you look at it.
Humans love it.
Yeah, you look at it and it's just like, it's so offensive to the
eyes. There's so much going on.
Yeah, but it does the job. That's the thing. Like that's what communication's all about.
Totally. And it's almost over communicating with you. There's so many like things that would go wrong. Like, it's too busy. There's too much shouting. But as a person, as a human with your human brain, you walk in there, it's like, oh my God, so many offers and so many sales, and like there's so much adrenaline and like serotonin like pumping through your brain. It's like when you go into a site and it says like, oh, you're the millionth person on this site, and it has this like flashing button. And if you didn't know that it was like that it was going to be a virus, you obviously don't click on it, but like you really want to click on the button. Like, this is kind of that equivalent to me. It's like, I want to click on all these like flashing buttons. So yeah,
true.
It totally does the job. It's so ugly. It's an eyesore, but it's amazing marketing.
It really is. So let's move on now to the McDonald's Golden Arches. Now, they're seemingly so iconic that they can create ads that don't even have the classic red backdrop or the entire logo in the ad, yet you can still tell which brand it's advertising. So, the Golden Arches, like Fresh Macca's apple pie, hot or not?
Super hot. I love this.
Super hot, yeah. Is it scorching?
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely like at the top end, for sure. Yeah. There's a couple, like I've heard, if you can draw your logo in the sand without lifting, like it's like, it was a story I heard, like if you can draw in the sand with a stick your logo without lifting the stick up, you've got the best logo. So the Disney ears, the Nike tick, the Golden Arches, like they're owning a brush stroke. Like, it's incredible. And even like the thickness and the thin, we recognize that immediately. It's not just an M, it's like literally it's this particular curve which they own and they completely dominate. I think that this is the dream, right? You wanna be the person that creates a logo mark like this. Like, that's the dream.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
And also it's like the yellow, it's like the color of the fries as well. Like, when you see it in the distance, you're immediately hungry and you just want to go pick up some fries and yeah.
I'm not sure if it's like an old wives' tale, but I remember someone telling me once, like, oh, red and yellow, there's a psychology behind the colors that actually make you hungry. Or
right.
I don't obviously, like, there's definitely colors that trigger certain feelings, but there's something magical about that yellow and red, for sure. And like it makes you think of a burger, and there's reasons why all the other fast food burger places use a similar color palette. Like, there must be a reason.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
It's hot. I love it.
Hot. Okay. Should we?
It's scorching. Yeah, I would put it middle.
Scorching. Okay.
Yeah, let's put it there. Yeah, I love that.
All right, perfect. In between hot and scorching.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's take a look at a recent Bonds ad.
What's a period, you say? Have you got all day? Cramps, gas, boobs, zits, discomfort in your lady bits. Keeps you fierce, keeps you tough. This here is hot stuff. Cheer through the bleed. Cheer through the bleed. Uterus under attack. We cheer bleeders, got your back. We're life-proof, leak-proof. We're bloody bulletproof. Let's cheer through the bleed. Cheer through the bleed.
Okay, this changes everything.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, let's talk about
So
it.
We have to
Bonds' ad
move.
campaign.
We have to
the
move
cheer
everything
bleeder.
down. It's so good. I remember
Oh,
when I
really?
saw this one. I love this. Do people not like this?
Not a
Do people-
Bella has
I-
very strong opinions about this one.
I think it's so good.
I like the
All right,
idea
well-
behind it. I just think it's like so in my face, and I'm like, I'm not cheering through the bleed when I'm thinking about my monthlies.
Yeah, no, that's true. No, I completely get it. I just think it's like, no one writes jingles anymore, right? Like,
that's true.
I don't think
yeah.
I've heard a jingle in so long. And when I saw this on Campaign Brief, I'm like, oh my God, the era of jingles is coming back. Like, this is like, this is the best. I think the costuming is awesome. I think the color palette is amazing. I think bringing
it
back
is visually
jingles,
very nice.
I think bringing back jingles is awesome. I really love how they've chopped it up for TikTok and Insta. Like, I get served those quite regularly.
There's like quite a few different ones as well. Like they've made a series.
They
of
do
them.
different
They're all
cheers.
different. Yeah.
So for me, this is written for Gen Z to be completely adaptable for social and for it to stick in your head. And it does. It ticks every single box. And, you know, even if you feel like it's a bit crass or like, you know, feel like, oh my God, like I'm never cheering through the bleed. Like, yeah, it's a big ask. Like, I don't think anyone ever like feels that way. But I just think visually it's just so cool. And yeah, it gets stuck in your head and it definitely adapts well to social. So I would put it under LD. And then maybe let's just shuffle everything over a little bit because I feel like I'm getting too nice.
Okay. Are we putting Dove into warm maybe?
Dove can go into warm. Yeah. Chemist Warehouse can go on the line and then
Okay. And then Bonds.
I'm getting too friendly.
I definitely what I do like about the Bonds one is the fact that, you know, they are able to kind of talk about, you know, periods and bleedings and stuff, and there's not that stigma anymore. Like you don't have to like weave around it. I think it's really refreshing.
Absolutely. And I think like what this does is, hey, if you have a problem with it, then we don't care. Like you're obviously not the target for this ad. So, because when I saw this on TikTok, I looked at the comments and yeah, of course there's like idiots and they go, oh, well, you know, why are they talking about da 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 da? And it's like, yeah, well, you probably don't have a period, so like, shut up. Like this ad isn't
Keep scrolling.
for you. Yeah, this clearly landed on the wrong For You page. So like, you're not the target demographic here. But yeah, this ad always makes me smile. I love the glitter coming out from her crotch. I just think it's just like it's so campy. Like it's so campy.
That's the word.
Yeah, it's totally super campy. I love it.
Yeah. And now onto our final brand, our favorite, Bondi Sands, a cult Aussie tanning fave. Could you walk us through the branding of Bondi Sands and tell us where you would place it on the hot wall?
Well, I think because now I'm emotionally invested in it, but I would actually put it at like really, really hot. This is like such an easy brand to work with because the customer loves Bondi Sands so much. It's so iconic. It's been around for 10 years, but I don't know. It feels like it's been here for longer.
Yeah, it feels new.
Even just the way, it feels like it's been around for 20 years.
As well as
it has
but
like
it's
it definitely
fresh.
super current. Yeah. The way that Bondi Sands does influencer marketing is the most, like, it's one of the smartest. Their influencer marketing, like the way they do influencer marketing is just so smart. And it's really great to be involved in those conversations at work, because I'm like, oh my gosh, that's just brilliant. I really love their brand. When they started, there was a couple, like, like Latans and things like that on the shelf at Priceline, and they're all sort of brown colored. Bondi Sands is like, nah, it's going to be white and black and blue. That's it. And maybe, and gold, and a gold logo, which at the time, I think, could look quite masculine, but it feels very like it feels quite luxe on the shelf. No, I really love it. And I think, having the word Bondi Sand, like having your brand called Bondi, even though it's a Melbourne brand, I think was a really genius move by the owners, the owners of the company, because they had this vision that it was going to be like an international brand from day dot. So for, the Americans and the British that, love, Australia is so exotic, and like, I want to have that Aussie glow and have this, and you can see the talent that we use. They're like this Aussie babe kind of vibe. Like, it's just so iconically Australian. And that's what they want overseas. They want to have that Australian beachy glow, and it does that job. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, totally agree. And it is, really interesting, the socials. Like, a lot of my friends and, this target demographic follow it naturally. Like, it's just content you want to see, and it really hits the nail on the head.
Yeah, they're doing a brilliant job.
Yeah, totally.
And showing people that look like us, like, I think that's something that's really refreshing. It's just like, it's such an array of influencers and lots of different skin tones, and even like different ways of styling. Like, there's before and afters, and then you see how, they dress and they live their life, and how they go out for a party. And that's a great thing about working with a beauty brand like this, is like, you're involved in the special events. Like, it's, it's like, it's part of the getting ready routine. So I actually like, I'm biased, but even prior to working there, I've always kind of gone, no, they've got that look nailed. They look different on the shelf, and their influencer marketing is, next to none.
Yeah. So where should we put it on the...
I think it's
not hot to scorching.
Off the chart. It's off the chart.
Off the chart. Okay, here we go.
There you go.
Good. That's a good answer, I think. Just in case the boss is watching.
Yeah. Maybe I'll send that to him after this.
Yeah. And with Bondi Sands, our last brand, up in the scorching spot, and thank God for that, Olivia will still have a job to go back to after this. That completes our Hot Walls segment.
Oh my God, that
Olivia,
was so
thanks
hard.
so much for playing. We definitely got some good insights into what's hot and what's not when it comes to branding. We're now going to cut to Ben, who once again took to the streets, this time looking into an ethically grey ad campaign. Ben, take it away.
And it's like, at what point do you know this is a gambling ad? Because, like, okay, so there's your T's and C's, but we're what? We're 17 seconds in.
As the advertising industry has progressed, so has our need to regulate it in an ethical, sound manner. Hello everyone, and welcome back to some more Ben on the Street. In today's episode, we take a look into brands such as Sportsbet and discuss where they sit on the ethical line. These ads have flooded people's TV and phones, gamifying gambling to compel the continuation of the punt. Tonight, we dissect Sportsbet with mates and give some thoughts onto the code of ethics within advertising.
Sportsbet's new Bet with Mates.
Hello everyone, welcome to Ben on the Street. Here we're with Grace again. She talked about, accounts the last episode, but we're here talking about ethical ads and in question Sportsbet, and lately the ads that they've been producing with Sportsbet with Mates. It's a good ad.
Oh, it's a great ad.
It's a great ad.
And I think does really well to talk to the target audience that it's talking to, and you know, it romanticizes the idea of what gambling is. Yeah. And so I understand it's like, it's spunk and like why it's considered cool, but you know, with all gambling advertising, you know, there's always a conversation to be had about how we feel about things that we make, and also how we feel about the things that we put into the world and the things that are in the world. So yeah, it's an interesting topic to talk about for sure.
It's very unfortunate they clearly have like a bit of budget because they have a lot of fun with it. And you know, as a creative, when you get that money and that freedom to kind of do anything, whatever you want, you know that like you can kind of push your creativity and do something really fun and something really cool. And as much as like they are a bit of a problematic, they are quite entertaining.
Yeah, I love their ads, but they're great. The Wheelie Bin one is just a cracker. So I, from a creative's point of view, love their ads. And it's difficult because they're, at the end of the day, they're running a business and they've got employees that they're paying, and that all comes back to driving business growth. So of course they're gonna push for more revenue from their advertising, and they're based on insights. A lot of those ads. So
I guess what makes them clever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they are creative pieces of work, and then you just have to ask the question: who does the onus come back onto? Is that the government who need to crack down on that, or is it the individual that needs to seek help? You've just got to ask where that onus comes back to, because at the end of the day, sports bet is a business.
So when we think of gambling addiction, we usually picture someone that's isolated. Do you think encouraging gambling in a group normalizes the behaviour and makes it seem more, you know, lighthearted in a way?
Absolutely. Like I think it makes, for people who probably maybe weren't in on gambling, or maybe were like, oh, I'm going to put some money on the Melbourne Cup. They're like really one-off gamblers who then start, oh, well, I can do it with my mates. And maybe there's an influencer mate in the group who is like, oh, we should do this fun thing.
So then
Let's get about it. Yeah. And it's like, you know, oh, you want to do the fun thing with your friends. Oh, I'm going to chip in. It's only a small amount of money. And then it becomes this thing where
doing it weekly.
You're doing it weekly, and then maybe you stop and you realize, oh wow, like we've been losing a lot of money. And we've started a hobby that we were never really a part of. Yeah.
I mean, it plays into that like group think, like it's rowdy, like it's, you have that peer pressure kind of vibe, like all your mates are on it, like it definitely elevates the kind of experience, I think, of just gambling.
Yeah, I don't bet much at all, but my housemates do, and every weekend they'll be betting on the footy or racing, and for someone who doesn't really enjoy betting, I sometimes see myself setting up an account and putting in a $50 and having a little punt and losing it and then deleting it again until the next time I cave. So definitely there is that peer pressure element to it.
At the end of those really funny, like those like great entertaining ads, they have to put in there now, get responsibility. If you're addicted, call
the quick wording.
But it's so quick at the end. It's like if you're in serious mental health, and it's just like such a shift in tone from like the actual ad. I think in the future, gambling will become a bit more like smoking, in the sense that they'll be more and more regulated to the fact of what they can and can't show. And even though it's quite tight as it is, I think there will be a shift culturally as well to acknowledging how toxic gambling is.
Advertising guidelines state that in alcohol ads you can't gamify drinking. You can't make it this amazing thing. You can't get the girl. You can't. You can't. You know, film. You know, Carlton Dry have this ad here and then have everyone cheering on for someone to binge drink 7.
Yeah.
Do you think restrictions need to come into play?
It's definitely something that when you look at the alcohol industry, like obviously that, like I remember thinking about, okay, well, if I were to go out and get a job, what would be my personal, okay, I don't really want to work on that type of brand. And I never felt as negatively towards alcohol advertising as I did gambling advertising. And I think it is because of all those restrictions, where, you know, as someone who, as all people that we sort of have that more of an understanding, and we look at things like gambling ads still make me feel a bit icky. You're putting this idea out into the world that's like we said, so romanticized and happy, and like you're gonna win, and these people are having an amazing time, when there aren't often, like, well, you never see the the negative impacts, and I think it's probably just as broad, if not broader, hitting than like alcohol is, especially in Australia.
Because I think the placement of those ads are also super strategic, because like I feel like they know when you're vulnerable, they know like the times that you usually go online and search stuff up, so they're going to target you then. So I think that it's almost harder and harder now to even get out of that.
Thank you guys so much. Everyone, round of applause for Liam and Lily. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much. Now back to Alana and Bella at the studio.
A great report from Ben once again, and on a topic very interesting and ongoing conversation. I'm sure at one point or another we have come across an ad that is truly unhinged and makes you do a double take. You know, the ones that make you think, who is responsible for that? And coincidentally, that is the name of our next segment.
All right, Olivia, for this game, we have selected ad campaigns, taglines, and social media posts that have left us thinking, what is this for and who decided this was okay? We're going to show you each ad and you have to guess what they are trying to sell, and bonus points if you can guess which brand approved the content. So that's 1 point for guessing the product category, for example, soft drinks, and 3 points for guessing the right brand, for example, Pepsi. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Oh my God.
Here's your first ad. What could this be for? An
I feel like I might know this answer because of the font.
Yeah, that's okay. You can use the font.
Is it BIC? Is
Let's
it
take a look at
BIC?
the answer. Are you locking that in?
Yeah, look, lock it in.
Okay,
Lock it
yeah.
in. Oh my God.
Lock it in.
All right. Let's see if you're right. Hang in there while we get the answer up. Sorry about the technical difficulties, guys. Won't be a moment.
Oh my God.
But geez.
This is so funny. Like
contradicts exactly
that
what
copy.
you just said before.
Oh my goodness.
How did I know that from the font? But that's so on brand for them. They pink wash everything.
Yeah.
That company. Oh my God.
They had their
like a pen.
pens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And for female hands, like we need different pens.
Absolutely
Okay, so
ridiculous.
you scored 4 points on that one. Let's take a look at the next one. Sorry guys, won't be a moment. I think we've got some lagging issues. But yeah, BIC is a real criminal with things like that.
All right. Any idea on what's being
God.
sold here, and who do you think's trying to sell it?
Okay. It's. Oh my God, is that a woman facing him? Because it's
Yes.
her.
Yes.
It's got to be. It's got to be a hair shampoo. I bet you it's shampoo. It's like shampoo and conditioner, surely. And I can't read that copy. Another language. I'm gonna. Yeah. I'm gonna go. I don't know, like Pantene. Shampoo Pantene. I'm locking it in.
All right. Lock it in. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's. I don't know. Maybe
She's facing him. I did not realize that. Like for a second, I was like, "But that's her butt."
It's so weird.
It's good. I mean, it's a great photo. Oh damn it, Garnier.
You're really close. You were right. You were on the right track. So yeah, Garnier part of it.
I was in the right aisle in the supermarket. Yeah, right aisle in the supermarket.
Yeah. And the reason why they've got the guy and the girl is it's to show how their products are unisex. So yeah, it's different.
He doesn't have any hair, but maybe you can wash it with his beard. Okay, what?
Yes. So let's take a look at this one. What could this be selling?
So this is a religious figure. He's doing a sermon and everyone is in the back corner carrying away.
Yeah,
They
what
look
could be
like they're
going
like
on?
covering his face. Is it a deodorant ad? Maybe he smells bad.
Are you locking that
Like,
in? Or do you wanna...
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Rexona or Oh no, I'll go Well, it wouldn't be Lynx. Lynx is not. It's not sex. Oh, damn it! Oh,
And
Listerine.
it was a Listermint, a mouthwash ad. So close, you had the right
the smell.
smell idea.
Close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, you didn't score any points on that one, but you do have 5 points so far. So let's take a look at the next one.
This one went pretty viral.
Oh god.
Surely you know this one.
Yeah, this is Pepsi. Pepsi and Pepsi. So soft drink and Pepsi, right? Is that the 2 points?
Let's take a look at the answer.
It's like, oh, it was so bad.
We'll watch the... Yeah, that was a shocker.
It was the one that made me ask, like, who was responsible for this? Who okayed it?
Poor Kendall.
Yeah.
I know.
She never.
Yeah.
She needs a better team behind her. Like, she needs Kylie's team. She needs Kylie's. Whoever's on Kylie's team, they do yes. Yeah. Oh my god, it's so tone deaf.
So
it's even worse. It's worse now, like with the protests on the weekends. Like, oh
yeah. Oh, it just gets
day.
It really
gets worse and
aged
worse.
so poorly. So you scored yourself 4 points with that one. Let's check out the next ad now.
I don't know this one.
This is a Super Bowl ad. I don't remember what it was selling though. I think it's a soft drink. It's in a can.
Puppy monkey baby.
It's so
Puppy monkey
weird.
baby.
It makes me so
Puppy monkey baby.
I bet you. Okay,
Puppy
I'm
monkey
gonna
baby.
say like an energy drink.
Puppy.
I forgot.
Monkey.
I know it's in a can. Oh, it's so gross.
Puppy monkey baby.
Get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
Puppy monkey baby.
What
Puppy monkey baby.
Do you want to guess the brand?
The brand?
Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby.
It really could be anything. It's
Puppy
so
monkey baby.
Yeah,
left field.
I mean, jeez.
Let's take a look at the answer now.
Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby.
Mountain Dew Kickstart. Dew, juice.
Stop
caffeine.
it. Stop it.
Yeah.
It's a caffeinated
Imagine
one.
that meeting room. Imagine that boardroom meeting.
Yeah.
So like they go and like, we have this, and you know how you're investing millions of dollars into this Super Bowl ad. We've got the idea for you. So it's going to be a puppy monkey baby like morph, and it's going to be singing a stupid song. Like, and then the boardroom goes, yes, that is the best idea. Well done. Like, what the hell?
How do you pitch that?
happened in that room? I don't even know. Wow, that is horrible. That is disgusting.
Okay. Here's the next one. It's a bit weird.
Forget about your worries
and
your strife.
What could be selling?
I mean the bare necessities. Old Mother Nature's recipe. Wherever I want, wherever I roam. I couldn't be fond of my big home. The bare necessities of life will come.
Oh my lord.
What? Yeah. What on earth?
I am running dry. Oh my god. Who would do that? Okay,
Who would do such a thing?
It's obviously it's European again. I'm looking at like the architecture. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it's American. Good lord. Well, it's not Adidas. They're both wearing Adidas hats. but they would never do that. Wait, he's wearing Adidas too. No, it wouldn't be. I'll have to lock in Adidas, but was it an ad sponsored by Adidas? That's the three
That's
stripes,
a really interesting
right?
point.
They're all wearing it.
Yeah, that is weird.
I'm gonna say that because that's what everyone is wearing. Adidas. Okay, I'm gonna say Adidas, even though I know that's not the answer, but they're all wearing Adidas. She's wearing it too.
Good coincidence.
They must have been the costume designers on set.
Yeah, that must have been paid off or something.
Alright, let's take the rest of the ad.
They'll come to you.
100% recyclable.
Hey,
Okay.
Yeah. Water.
I guess there's only so much
right.
you can do with selling water.
Yeah, wow, live young. I mean, of course, I get it, but that's so not. You didn't see the water once in the ad.
Yeah.
How bizarre. Oh my God. Well, I'm
That
kind
one
of
got
glad I
me.
got that one wrong.
Although that's super interesting what you said about Adidas. Maybe there was some sort of partnership or something. behind the
Yeah, and like
scenes.
the only adult
Yeah.
was that tennis player. I'm not sure who she was, but
Mm.
I'm sure she was a big name. I don't really follow the tennis, but yeah, maybe maybe they were sponsoring the tennis that year. I don't know. That is so strange. What a
Yeah.
weird ad. That is
Just
crazy.
yeah, totally weird.
All right, Ilana, have you got the final score?
Yes, I do. And your final score is 10 points. So congratulations. Out of I think 20.
Oh no! Well, half. Okay, that was hard though.
Yeah,
Yeah. The ones
it
the
was
ones
a
I didn't know, I
hard
was
one.
confident on. Oh my God, so much
But
fun.
yeah,
That's
congrats.
crazy.
Those were some
Thank you.
very strange ads. Very strange.
Very strange.
So
Yeah.
congrats.
And that one brings us to
Yeah.
the end of who is responsible for this. Olivia, thank you so much for playing and coming along and experiencing some truly wildly unhinged ads. Now's a part of the night for you guys at home to have a look and get to know this week's quick brief.
Year in a row to deliver us a new quick brief. Make sure you've downloaded it off our socials or from John's announcement. Now, third years, you may be familiar with this company. We had a brief from them last year. For those of you who don't know, it's an artist-owned co-op that provides you with authentic stock photos and videos. Their content really is great, nothing like your usual stock images. So they want artists to embrace the remix. They believe that growth comes from combining existing ideas together. Their work is created to be cut up, sampled, and mashed up with the idea of expanding online culture. What Death to Stock is asking you to do today or this week is use an image from the Death to Stock photo library. The login details are available on the brief in John's announcement on Canvas to create a poster of any size or format and complete the line, "I'd rather be blank." So for example, I'd rather be me, I'd rather get out of the house, whatever. Very true. Send your entries to quickbriefs@hungrytalks.com.au before the 19th of September. The top 3 entries, as judged by Death to Stock, will win a subscription to the Death to Stock photo library. Definitely a good one for aspiring art directors and copywriters to get your hands on. It's something different to exercise your creativity without having to think too much about insights. Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to DM John or us. But for now, Perry is going to bring you up to date with all things happening in the world of advertising this week. Perry, over to you.
Good evening and welcome to Hungry News. I'm your host, Perry Capnius. Our top stories tonight are brought to you by B&T, Australia's leading publication for advertising and media news. I'll keep this brief. Looks like Dan Andrews himself has got on the beers, so to speak, with Public Brewery releasing Dan and Brews to commemorate Melbourne's 6th lockdown. Dan's not the first Aussie Polly to have this happen. Former PM Bob Hawke has a beer named after him, and New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian has a candle named after her by the Care Pack Co. I hear that it's made of a soft wax much like Gladys's rule, and it will burn through Sydney until at least December. If you're wanting to work in advertising or media but don't know much about politics, that's okay, because I too have been wondering, who the hell is Karl Marx? The first conflicting opinion comes from Fox News anchor Bill Hemmer, who gave me a hint while discussing the decision to implement critical race theory into American schools.
Thank you, Mark. On the Princeton point here, you and I have discussed it at the college level. This is fair game. Go ahead and do it, right? I mean, I remember 20 years old going to Trier, Germany, and trying to find the home of Karl Marx because, 1848, he wrote Mein Kampf. I want to know what it was all about. So that's part of the education in America, if you so choose. So that's that.
This TikTok user also tried filling me in. Apparently he's not a famous fashion designer either. You can read more about these stories on bnt.com.au. And ladies, avert your eyes because this week's bad ads are for blokes only. Again, if any of these raise an issue for you, there are some numbers listed below. Since it's episode 5, we're featuring 5 bad ads this week. It also means you lot have had 5 chances to submit your fan entries. Luckily, Tom Ahern gave it a crack and it was a winner with this organic feed stunner. Thanks, Tom. My targeted ads are a little too blokey for my liking and just plain embarrassing, so I'll leave this mess here for you.
You know how it happens. You're about to fart, but instead you shart. Quick, finish your midi. You sure got a skiddy. A hard-earned skiddy needs a good strong laundry liquid. And the best laundry liquid is Zero Co.
If the idea of sharting yourself at the pub puts you off going out, then Bud Light has got you sorted. If you get yourself into trouble within 15 minutes of sculling one, you are legally allowed to leave. The only no you can accept is no consequences. If sexual misconduct is a bit too life-altering, for you anyway, why not try good old-fashioned adultery? My biggest issue with this one is I don't understand what the sport of fitness means. And if you don't want to cheat on your missus, there's always cheating on your sport of choice. We'll finish off with this winner from Sportsbet.
This is Ben Johnson, 88 games, 100-metre gold medalist.
Hi, I am Ben Johnson, 88 games, 100-metre gold medalist.
When it comes to performance enhancement, Ben really knows his stuff, which is why he's happy to endorse Sportsbet's new Juiced Up Android app.
It's new.
This thing is a hit with performance enhancement experts all over the world.
Everyone's on it.
这个新 Sportsbet app 是非常快。
It's like you say, very powerful stuff.
It's been secretly developed to deliver lightning-fast results.
It tested positive for speed and power again and again.
With scientific stuff injected into its back end.
In bottom.
In fact, it's chock full of new features to give you an unfair advantage.
More speed, more power, and extra gear.
Even the download time is faster at a record-breaking 10 seconds.
Faster if you cut a few corners.
It's endorsed by all the experts. Sportsbet's new cutting-edge feature-injected Android app puts the roid in Android. Download it now from Sportsbet.
That's all for tonight.
Thank you, Perry. All right, we're up to that point in our night where we get our esteemed guest, Olivia, to answer your burning questions. It's hot seat time.
All right, Olivia, we'll ask you a couple of questions tonight, but please keep the questions coming through in the chat and we'll send them to Olivia afterwards for her to answer. So first of all, this question comes from Gemma. She would like you to myth bust the myth that staying with one brand kills your creativity. Do you find this true?
I can
false?
I can bust that. I can bust that myth. I think that staying with one brand actually gives you a lot of opportunity to know that brand inside out. which gives you the confidence to actually like break through the mold. So when you are working with one brand, you can see it grow and change, and you can see how society is changing around it. So that gives you so much opportunity to adapt and not get too fatigued by the brand that you're working with, because you want to keep it up to speed. When you kind of jump in and out of working with one brand and the next day you're working with the next, you never get to live in it. And so for me personally, I find it extremely creatively fulfilling to be very emotionally involved with one brand, but everyone's so different. But yeah, for me personally, myth bust.
Brilliant. Thank
Love
you.
it. Yeah. Amazing. So this one comes from Christine. She asks, as a person who aspires to be an art director, how do we start our career as a junior, and what could we do to make ourselves stand out?
Okay, this is challenging because everyone is so different.
Yeah.
I think what you can do to make yourself stand out is to, okay, here's actually some really good advice. I would recommend getting inspiration off a lot of different places. Let's not all go to the same place, like the Pinterests of the world and Instagram to get visual inspiration. I think it's really important that young visual creative people are looking all over for wonderful inspiration, be that fashion or music, like, like what album art was happening in here for, a car ad, I'm not sure, but like rather than just typing in car ads and then like finding visual inspiration there, I think that will like can make you stand out against the grain. Absolutely. I think finding inspiration from places that are a little bit unexpected, I really recommend. And also, as a visual person and as like an art director, having that as your specialty, having an understanding of what's happening around you as well. So you're the expert for how something's going to feel and look, and that sort of like the visual aspect of a project, for example. But have an understanding of what's going through the copywriter's mind. How can you and them collaborate really well, so your stuff and their stuff is actually really merging well together. So really being collaborative with them. If it's going to go online, talk to the digital designers, talk to the developers. What can we do that's cool? Like if you're developing a site, talk me through what's possible, so I can give you an art direction that can be, fulfilled online, and do like cool transitions or something like that. So get inspiration from places that aren't your average place. Like don't go to Pinterest and search what you're going to be doing, and then in your field, look at the team around you for the project that you're working on, and be really collaborative with them. So not just at the idea stage, but it's going to be a developed website, or it's going to be a printed billboard. Let's work backwards from that, and how your idea and your visual concept can be seen all the way to the end. I think that will really stand you out in front of the crowd.
Amazing. That's such good advice. Definitely something to think about. And with that last question, it does bring us to the end of another brilliant episode of Hungry Talks. We have to give a big thank you to you, Olivia, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us tonight and give us all your incredible insights into going from graphic design to agency and to now experiencing working brandside. So, Olivia, how did you find tonight's episode?
Oh, it was so great. Thank you so much for having me. And if there's any more questions, you can shoot them through and I can answer them via email. But thank you so much for having me. This was amazing. I'm so impressed. This was so much fun.
Thank you so much, Olivia. Yeah, you were awesome, and it was so amazing to see you again. Yeah, really appreciate it. All right, take care. See you, Olivia.
Bye.
Bye. So, students, if you haven't already, go ahead and download the brief from John's announcement on Canvas and start getting those ideas down. Besides that, we hope you guys have enjoyed the episode, and we will see you next week when we will be taking a look at ethics in advertising. But for now, 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
But for now, next week's a break.
But for now, I'm Alana.
And I'm Bella, and this has been Hungry Talks. We hope you have a groovy night.
Bye.